Hi, my name is Kevin Huhn. I'm here for Sue Powell from the Hartt Community Division to help you out with the Dittersdorf Concerto. There's just a few things I want to talk about that are kind of specific to this concerto. It's probably one of the most commonly asked of the classical concertos. This and the Van Hall Concerto you'll probably be asked to play at some point. Something unique about them that you might not know is that they weren't written for forced tuning, which is what we always use today. They were written for something called Viennese tuning, which was originally played on a 5-string bass, and from lowest to highest, the strings were F, A, D, F sharp, and A. So it's roughly a D major chord with the addition of the F on the bottom. This allowed bass players to do a lot of really cool things because the harmonics were lined up in such a way that you could play all kinds of melodies in D and A major really quite easily. So just as an example, this is the one that always gets trotted out. But the opening of this concerto in Viennese tuning is this. 3 open strings and 3 harmonics. You can play it differently, but that's probably how they would have done it. And there are passages later on in this piece that I'll talk about that are much easier in Viennese tuning. And you know, the example, people always give that example and they're like, look how easy Viennese tuning is. It's not really that easy, but it's just, everything fits just a little bit better on the bass. So let's jump into a couple of the passages from here that we might need to do some work on. So the beginning is, you want to think of it like a fanfare. It's like a trumpet fanfare calling out these 2 arpeggios. So let's hear about that and then we'll talk about it a little bit. So the challenge in this part is getting really comfortable with this D major triad position up here. I'd highly recommend that you use your thumb on the F sharp, first finger on D, the harmonic, and then 3rd finger on A. So you get a good little exercise just to get used to that is just to put your thumb on F sharp and then just try and do some hammer-on pull-offs just to build up that finger strength and get used to it. If you want to see someone play this really, really well in Viennese tuning, I'd highly recommend you look at Renat Ibragimov's recording, which is on YouTube. If you just search Dittersdorf Viennese tuning, it'll probably come up. But it's from the London Symphony Orchestra channel, but it's incredible. So just a couple other things with this opening. We want to think just nice and short, articulate notes, and then just work on that thumb, get it nice and comfortable. Just 2 fingerings that you can mess around with in this. You could either go to your 2nd finger first and then up to the A. Set up your F sharp. What I like to do is just go for the 1st finger on D right away, and then you can just set yourself up. Okay, this next little bit, not too much to say about it. Just don't let these 3 F sharps be exactly the same. So don't play, play the first D nice and strong like a drum, and then let the next 3 F sharps lead into the next little bit. Same thing there with the E and the D. Just let them go bum, 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 bum. Don't let them all be the same. Okay, letter B. This is probably our toughest spot. There's lots of string crossings, lots of different fingerings you could choose. I want to go through just a couple of them. Just in the beginning, you kind of have a choice of staying here and kind of slowly working your way down. I like to just start this whole thing, just stay in the neck block position and just work your way around that and keep returning to it. One spot I do want to talk about that is probably the most drastically altered from the change of tuning is this passage that has these alternating A's. I want to throw 2 fingerings at you that you should try both, see which one you like, because we have to get a little creative here to pull this part off. So the first one is going to be so So there, what we're doing is we're sneaking in the high A on the D string, just using the harmonic for the high A. And then you're mostly able to stay in the neck block position with just a couple jumps back and forth. And if you have really big hands, you might even be able to do this just by stretching, depending on the size of your bass. So that's one option. The other one, I'm going to start a little further back so you can see how to get into it, but it's jump to the D harmonic here. And then you just stay in thumb position on the A string there, using that A for your kind of anchor there. So give both of those a try, see which one you like better. The other thing I want to say about this passage, at the end of it, you have to play all these repeated A's. What I normally do is just play a harmonic there, so if I'm playing this fingering, play that one, then I'll jump back to this one, same pitch. If you really want to close both of those notes, and you're coming from this, I would try it with your third finger. Then you get to play the F sharp with your thumb. And then just jump back, whichever way you want to do it. Okay, so moving on to the harmonics. This part, the beginning's like a fanfare. This part is pretty much like a hunting horn call. So you want to imagine it sounding like a horn, just really nice and bright and articulate. One thing I like to do here is just decrescendo on each of them individually. So, and then decrescendo throughout all three. So let me show you what I mean. So, just one thing with your bow, let it really travel on the eighth note so you can get a nice ring. So really let that last one kind of recede, like, you know, the hunting party's going away. One other thing I want to say is sometimes these harmonics at the end of the fingerboard don't speak too well. There's a good example of me missing one. So what I like to do on that first set is I just use artificial harmonics. If you put your thumb on the A harmonic that we've been using, reach out your third finger to over the E there, you'll get that note. So you can do this whole passage. That speaks just a little clearer on my bass. Your bass might be different. They might speak wonderfully down there. So just another option if you're having trouble with that first set. What I like to do is just go. And then the others work pretty well. So just another option on those. The rest of this, there's pretty much the same type of stuff that we have to deal with at letter B. Same kind of thing. Just the very last little bit coming into that. That little bit, I would say this is almost your only option to do that part, is just the thumb position one here, up to there. And then you have two little options coming out of that part. Could play the E harmonic there and then. But the ringing A harmonic normally gives you enough time to get back there. So those are a couple tips. I hope you have fun with this piece. Once again, I'd highly recommend you check out Renat Ibragimov playing this in Viennese tuning. It'll blow your mind. It's just incredible. And then check out some other Viennese tuning pieces as well. Yeah, but best of luck with your audition and your prep.
Thank